Hey folks, if you're doing a renovation and particularly if you're executing the BRRRR strategy, you need to watch this video for some money saving tips. So here we go. If you're doing the BRRRR strategy or you want to do the BRRRR strategy and you're not familiar with what it is or how it works completely, watch this video right here and you'll learn all about it. If you are going to buy major products, particularly the big ones like appliances, and even the small ones like a faucet, you need to shop at the big box stores, and here's why. Big box stores offer three things that really work to your advantage that'd be harder to get online, especially if you're buying in bigger quantities. The first thing is they'll usually waive delivery fees for any sort of quantity. That's easy, that's small, but every little bit helps. The second thing is you might be able to get some discounts if you're buying in quantity as well. You can go in there if you're buying, let's say you're renovating 2 units and you're gonna buy 2 of everything, including appliances and laundry machines and faucets and vanities and all that good stuff. You could say, listen, I'm buying 2, why don't you give me a bit of a deal? And sometimes they'll knock off 5-10% just for doing that. And the more you buy, the more they're willing to do that. But here's the big one. If you are doing the BRRRR strategy, you know that at the end of it, you will refinance. Meaning you just need to have capital for now to get through the renovation, and then you're hoping to get that capital back when the bank gives you the refinance when you're done. Here's the big ninja trick. You want to go into the big box stores and you want to get their branded credit card. Usually, sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 2 years, but usually it's a 1 year, no interest if you pay it off within that 1 year. So let's say you go into one of those big box stores like a Home Depot, a Rona, a Lowe's, Best Buy even, because they have a lot of appliances. You go and you say, I want a credit card, and then you buy whatever you're going to buy. Let's say you're renovating 2 or 3 units, you buy 2 or 3 of everything. We've gone into one of those stores and we bought 4 of everything for a 4-unit renovation, and it came out to well over $20,000. Now, if I had to raise that $20,000 or borrow it from private money or something like that, I got to pay a lot of interest on that. And for the entire duration of the renovation, I'm responsible for coming up and holding that capital. But if you go into one of these stores, let's say you put $20,000 down on appliances or whatever you're buying, you don't have to pay that money back until the end of the renovation, because usually it's not going to take an entire year. Usually it's about $100 of monthly payments based on about $10,000 of owing, give or take. So let's say we're spending 20 grand, that's about $200 a month or $2,400 in a year. So instead of having to come up with $20,000 and hold that, whether you borrowed it or it's your own capital, for the entire duration of the renovation, you put it on these big box store credit cards. You get all the materials, you install them, the house is done. Let's say it takes a year, which it shouldn't, but let's say it does. $200 a month times a year, that's $2,400 you've had to come up with, instead of $20,000 you've had to come up with. And one of the really smart things is that $2,400, that's not interest payments. You're not losing that money. That is put toward your principal as long as you pay it off within that 1 year time period. So at the end of that year, let's say you refinance. Not only does that $2,400 go against the 20 grand you borrowed, so now you only owe, $18,600 if I did the math right. And I'm pretty sure I screwed that number up, so $17,600 sounds a lot better. You also refinance and you use the bank's money on the refinance to pay back the credit card debt. You have just saved yourself $20,000 out of pocket or having to borrow just by getting the big box brand credit card as opposed to shopping online. Maybe online you find a couple $100 difference on an appliance, great, but you have to front the entire cost of that appliance. Now you just saved 20 grand. And a lot of these big box stores, one last tip, they'll match any price you find. So just ask about that. Some of them will, some of them won't. Do you have a ninja tip? Do you have some sort of clever way during your BRRRR strategy or during any sort of renovation for investing that kind of saves you a bit of money, puts off some of the payment, or uses even better the bank's money to pay for what you're supposed to pay? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. I'd love to know what you're doing. If you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. We'd love to keep in touch. We'd love to know what you guys are doing. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks.